it's hard to be alone throughout the day. You go to school, you go to work, you're at home, maybe you live with other people or with your family. And it's hard to, we have our 5 daily prayers, but even that, how much are we truly connecting with Allah in that one moment?
Hello everybody, welcome to the Ramadan Radio. I'm Abdullah. Today I have Mercan with me and we are very excited to have you guys here with us again. Our topic today is nightlife during Ramadan. How are you doing,
Nightlife, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you for asking. And this is a very interesting topic because it's a topic that I'm lacking in a way. Because as an engineering major, I find myself just studying during the Ramadan nights. I don't have much of a social life. It's either mosque or studying. How is it for you?
How is it for me? I mean, it really depends. For the past Ramadans, especially toward the end of Ramadan, where the prayer time, the iftar time is later in the night, and the time to Tarawih is kind of very rushed. So you run from iftar to pray Maghrib, and then you run to the mosque to pray Tarawih. So it's kind of very rushed. But yeah, usually for me as the opposite of that. I don't really like to study after iftar time, so I try to get my studying done before then. The way it works for me usually, or let me say, I think this way, the best way I feel like to spend your night as a Muslim is like this. You have your iftar, you pray your Maghrib prayer. From then, maybe you have some time before Isha to, just settle down, to relax before you go to the mosque to pray Tarawih. And then after that, as a Muslim youth, that's usually the time when we hang out with our friends. I don't know if that's your experience because I think you're busy studying, but usually I would go to a cafe, like a Muslim cafe that's open perhaps at that time, or go play volleyball after Tarawih, or hang out with my friends after then. Because, we're all too tired to hang out during the day. That's usually how it was for me. But I think the ideal thing would definitely to be back home by a healthy time, not to stay out past midnight, definitely, because there's no barakah in the evening. And while it's fun to hang out with your friends, also as students too, we have to make sure we get our sleep. And the conversations that you might have in the night times, while they may be fun and interesting, it might not be very beneficial spiritually. And all that reward that you gain throughout the day and from your prayers and fasting might go down the drain if you're talking about very worldly things with your friends. So, I definitely encourage people to hang out, I think, with their friends after Tarawih, especially if you were unable to do so during the day. Do it in a healthy amount. Maybe, sit down for some tea, for some dessert, maybe a smoothie, and then call it a night in time for everyone to get back home, to get their rest. And then to wake up for tahajjud. Tahajjud is certainly a sunnah that I've been battling with, trying to integrate into my life because as of my wonky sleeping schedule. But definitely I think Ramadan is the time where we spend our evenings or not our evenings, but our nights more so with prayer, especially with independent prayer. You're one-to-one with God, with Allah, and you pray your tahajjud, and then you have your suhoor maybe with your family, and then maybe you call it a day after. So, or maybe for others, that's when your day starts, after suhoor. I don't know, what do you think about this whole night schedule?
It's an interesting topic, and the way you look at it is pretty healthy. And I have weird feelings about it in a way, because I always remember I have a lot of friends. And I live in Dallas, so a lot of houses in here have pools in their backyards. So every night, one of my friends would just invite all of the friend group to their home so they could swim after iftar. And I'm stuck at home studying because, during the day it's kind of hard to study, so I have to make the best of it after iftar. So I'm seeing all of these cool conversations in WhatsApp or in group chats. Everyone is like, yo bro, I can't wait to dip in the pool and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah. And I gotta study for this midterm tomorrow. You guys have fun. Of course, I'm missing out on those stuff, but I found it in a way it's good that what I like to do is after iftar, I study for 2 hours. I go to sleep, I wake up, I pray my tahajjud. It's helped me to start praying tahajjud more consistently.
After Tarawih? Because you said
After
after
Tarawih, of course,
I was like,
yes, of
that's
course,
the
Tarawih.
early time to sleep.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yes.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. If after iftar, I'll study for an hour. I'll go pray Tarawih. I come back home. I study for another hour. I go to sleep. I wake up. I pray my tahajjud, and then study for another 2-3 hours until sahur. I do my breakfast during sahur, and I go to sleep. Wake up, study, go to school. I like to sleep an hour between my classes, so I'm like kinda have this like refreshment, a feeling of refreshment during the day. It helps me a lot to sleep like 1 hour, not more, because anything more than that, you wake up and you feel tired, right? An hour of sleep
Wow.
during the day helps me a lot between my classes. I've noticed that, and because the best time to study is during the night, because I can drink, I can eat, I got my coffee with me, right? So I gotta make
Mhm.
best of that. So my evenings, my nights are pretty lacking socially, but I always try to make sure that at least 4 or 5 nights I either spend fully with my family or with my friends. So because Islam is not an individual religion, it's a religion that we share as a community. It always talks about being community. It always talks about being one, all of us together. And it's important to remember that during Ramadan. And so I always make sure at least like 4 or 5 nights I'm spending it with my close ones, the people that I love, pretty much.
Yeah, that's incredible. That definitely does show a different perspective too, especially if you're studying something that's very intensive like that, that you do need to study that much for. And for me, maybe I'm showing the other opposite side of the spectrum because I did have those nights, when my friends are like, let's hang out and you don't want to miss out, like as you said. And maybe I don't have much schoolwork either, I don't have much to do, so I can potentially do it. But I never felt that fulfillment I do other times. And I definitely, after experiencing that, the whole nightlife of, hanging out with your friends and going places maybe during late times, it's not something that I would prefer, definitely. But it's really nice that you said that you made that 5-day goal for yourself to, spend with your friends and family. I think that's really important as well. So I guess it depends on people. I'm sure there's probably even people who are a lot more healthier than us in terms of their schedule. Maybe they call it a night directly after Tarawih too.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, definitely it's something to be mindful of. Do you have any other thoughts?
Not really, I would say. I think, like we talked about in the first episode, we talk about balance, right? Balance between studying and like about Islam and like sleep schedule, about eating in the first episode. And this is just like that. We are humans are social beings, right? And during Ramadan, we are fasting, we got work during the day, so our social life is lacking, but that doesn't mean that we had to fully get rid of that side of our life. So, like I said, there's important to find the balance between Islam, so our social side, our family and friends, our studying, our sleep schedule. There's a balance to everything, like we talked about in the first episode, and there's a balance to our social life, our religion, our afterlife, and sleeping, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And overall, I think the message that we were trying to portray for this episode on the nightlife of a Muslim, in general, I feel like this is an idea to take in general. It's definitely to focus more on our one-on-one relationship with Allah. Like you said, we're very social creatures. Throughout the day, I'm talking in general, not just exclusive to Ramadan, but it's hard to be alone throughout the day. You go to school, you go to work, you're at home, maybe you live with other people or with your family. And it's hard to, we have our 5 daily prayers, but even that, how much are we truly connecting with Allah in that one moment? And it's the night times. And as we know, as the sunnah of our Prophet Muhammad, he spent the night, him as well as the Sahaba, they spent the nights completely in prayer, for hours and hours. They would just, until our Prophet's feet swelled up from praying so much, they would pray and they would cry to Allah, especially the Sahaba who in public, they were very put together and you wouldn't see them crying potentially, but when they were just one-on-one with Allah towards the night, a completely different side of them came out, where they cried, they cried their hearts out potentially. And as the Muslim youth, to reconcile that, maybe the inner wounds that we have, any psychological issues, any emptiness that we feel within us, it's all hidden in that one-on-one relationship that we have with Allah, you know. And the nights, especially during Ramadan, are the perfect time because the angels are coming down, Allah says, and praying for the people who they see their lights are open in the evening, right? Maybe because they're praying and they're awake and they're not sleeping. And those angels are coming down and praying for all of these people who are up at this time. And we're getting some live comments from our friend here. She's saying, not running away from yourself by always socializing. Definitely, you know, we run away with coming to face with maybe our own sins or our own things that we need to seek forgiveness for, or that things that just doesn't sit right with us. We distract ourselves by always hanging out with people potentially, but we need to be lonely at certain times of the night, especially to make up for that. I know I yapped a lot. What do you think?
Absolutely, no, you are great. You are doing great. That's it everyone for tonight. Thank you all for joining us, listening to us. Please leave your nightlife during Ramadan. As a Muslim, we are very interested to see what other people are doing during Ramadan. And please check in with us tomorrow. I'll talk to you all. We'll be here, either me or Mercan. Thank you for joining me today, Mercan. Take care.
Thank you for having me as well. Yeah, definitely. If you guys have any advice for us that, you know, you spend your nightlife as a Muslim, please guide us as well and give us ideas. Have a wonderful and blessed Ramadan, everyone.
Goodbye.
Forever out.